didn't want it. So like I had told you before, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra helps us to be happy. What are the benefits of chanting? They destroy all our sinful reactions so that we don't, have to go through the reactions of our past sinful deeds. They burn the sinful seeds. That means the different mistakes that we are going to do because of our tendencies, that also gets burned if we keep on chanting and remembering Krishna. And it also counteracts sinful proclivities. Again, inclinations that we feel like doing the wrong things, that also will be counteracted. And most important, it will light the lamp of knowledge in our hearts. When we have bhakti, Krishna says that when we have bhakti, he will give us jnana. When we have bhakti, the knowledge will come by itself. Krishna will bless us with knowledge when we have bhakti. Maithili, welcome. Good to see you today. So here we are talking about the beauty of chanting and keeping on remembering Krishna. The mantra helps us to remember Krishna. Okay. If you look here at this, what George Harrison, he was very famous, I think part of the Beatles. In his autobiography, he says he used to chant Hare Krishna every day. And he said that a mantra is mystical energy. Ranjan is here because I'm in Kerala. So George Harrison says that a mantra is mystical energy encased in sound structure. And each mantra has vibrations with a certain power. Okay. But of so many mantras, Maha Mantra has been prescribed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was an incarnation of Krishna. And he says that it's easy and sure way to get God realization, which is the aim of the human body. Okay, children, that is why I want us to start practicing chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay, so today I want Maithili to chant first. Maithili, can you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is written in blue color here?
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
All right. Niranjan, you chant it. Chant the Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nice. Ritika, can I hear you chant?
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
All right. Nisha?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Good. Anushka?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
All right, nice. All of you are chanting very clearly. It's important to chant with clarity. Deepa, may I know who is Deepa who has joined us today? Welcome to the Sunday Gita class. I can't see you. Hello, who is it? Yes.
I can't on my video because there's some problem.
No problem. Have you come to the Sunday class before?
No.
Okay, today is your first class. Where are you from? Where are you located?
Batul.
Batul. Okay. Your name is Deepa. How did you know about this Gita class? Deepa, how did you know about the Gita class? I don't know. Anyway, welcome dear. It's nice to have more people, eager to listen to the Gita. So today let's just quickly revise once before we go to chapter 11 and we also do a story quickly. And before we start the chapter 11, which is very important because here Krishna shows his universal form, why he shows it, how he shows it. We'll try and understand that, okay? In chapter 10, last class, we didn't have the Sunday before that. We learn that Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna is not knowable. And we learned about pure bhakti and the most important chatushloki from 10.8 to 10.11, which I want you all to learn. Last class I said I'll send you a recording, but I didn't send it. I was being very busy. So this week I'll send it. Please learn these 4 verses. They are the Bij shloka. In chapter 11, there is one shlok, the last shlok, which is also considered to be the essence of the whole Gita. So learning that 11.55 is also very good. You'll be able to remember the whole Gita just by remembering that verse. Then we learned how Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position, and then Krishna describes his vibhuti. He describes his how wonderful, he describes his vibhuti means his opulence, so that we can remember him all the time, right? So this was chapter 10's summary again in little more detail. That Krishna is the source of everything. He is known, yet he is even if we know him, we can never know him because like how we cannot know our father's his whole history, even if he tells us, right? We can only know from when we saw him. Similarly, we only know Krishna a little bit. We can never know him fully. And then we learned about the 3 ways of how to know Krishna, the awareness of knowing the goal and the process. I don't know if you all remember that. And then Arjuna says, tell me more. I want to know more, because he wants to be able to always think of Krishna and see Krishna everywhere, right? Why? Because when you know somebody in detail, it is a symptom of love. So if you want to love God, then you should be able to, know him in detail. And so Krishna says, I am God. And then Arjuna accepts that he's the Supreme Lord. And in fact, in chapter 11, he shows his universal form. And we know that, we come to know with complete surety that Krishna is the Lord of the universe. And once we are able to understand the details of Krishna, we want to know his stories, we want to hear more about how he got born on earth as Krishna, and so many avatars. You can learn about all of them, but Krishna avatar is considered to be very special because he comes in his original form, his original personal form. And the purer we become, the more we are able to think of the Lord. If we don't have a pure mind, it's difficult to think of God. So all of you who are in this class, you have reached a particular, level of purity of mind. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here in this class, right? Because you have a pure mind, you want to understand Krishna, and that is why you are here in this class. So the purer we become, more we think of the Lord and less we think of ourselves. We want to just be of service to the Lord. And that is the true compassion or love. Okay. So let's quickly revise the chatushloki. I want you all to repeat once after me. In this, Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything comes from me. So we think of Krishna, just think that he is the origin of everything. And the wise people, they perfectly know this. And so they're constantly engaging their mind in devotional service and worshiping the Lord, because they know that everything comes from Krishna. Okay. So I would like you all to repeat. This is a very good sound vibration also, the Bhagavad Gita's verses. So please repeat after me once. Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Avam sarvasya bhavo.
If you can read Hindi faster, read Hindi, or you can read the English. Mattah sarvam pravartate.
Mattam sarvam
Sarvam
Tva bhajante maam.
iti
Bhajam Bhavante
Buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Buddha
Buddha Bhava Samannita.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. In 10.9, Krishna says that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. So in this picture, you can see Prabhupada who's always thinking of Krishna, because of which he could make the whole ISKCON spread all over the world. People from different nationalities, they chant Hare Krishna. We also have in this picture the Guruvayur temple's, Bhattattari part, the famous person, the famous saint from Kerala who wrote the Sriman Narayaniyam, and how he was all the time thinking of Krishna, and he describes, actually Krishna gives him a divine vision of himself. So in this verse, Krishna says that the pure devotees, their thoughts are always in me. Their lives are devoted to Krishna. Whatever they do, they give it to Krishna. They have no personal, need or greed. And they derive so much joy and satisfaction by talking. See, right now you're all listening to me. You're all eager. You've come to this class Sunday morning. You're spending time. Why? Because you want to hear about the Lord. You want to hear about what is of this Gita. You want to learn and understand. So we are talking and conversing to each other about Krishna and about the Gita. So this also, so that's why I keep writing to you all, dear devotees. So that's a symptom of devotees. They like to talk and listen about the Lord. Okay, so this is what chapter the 10.9 says. Let's say it together. Machita madgata prana.
Machitama
Prana
Bodhayantah parasparam.
Bodhayanta parasparam
Kathayantascha mam nityam.
Nityam
Dusyanti cha ramanti cha.
Sancharamantika.
Vicha.
Very nice. So you can see the meaning. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They are all the time pleased. Tushyanti means pleased. Cha means also. And they're enjoying. We're all enjoying transcendental bliss as we're discussing about Krishna. Then Krishna says, what will he give to such devotees? So here he says, to those people who are constantly serving me with love, what does he give them? He gives them the understanding by which they can come to me. Nothing in this world can be understood by any human being simply by speculating and doing experiments. You cannot understand fully ever, right? But if you are devoted to Krishna, who is a knower of everything, he will give us the understanding. Okay, so he says, let's say this. So you can see here a man is saying, Lord, please talk to me. And then Krishna comes in the form of Bhagavad Gita and he's talking to us. Krishna is talking to us in the Gita. So that's why we keep saying Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan is the all-powerful God. He is talking to us. Uvacha means said. So let's say this verse, which Krishna is saying, Tesham satata yuktanam.
Tesham satatayuktanam
Bhajatam priti purvakam.
bhajatam
Pritipurvakam
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
tada
Diyogantam
Yena mamupayanti te.
yena
I'll send you these verses. You please practice them. It says, Tesham, to them, Satata Yuktana, who are all the time thinking of me, Bhajadam Priti Purvakam, and they are thinking of me with so much of love. To them, Dadami Buddhi Yogam, I give them the blessing of true intelligence and knowledge. Yena, by which they can come to me. You can reach Krishna's abode of spiritual world of Krishna just by chanting. Let's do the last one of this chatushloki together. Here, Krishna is saying, what is the other thing he does? He shows special mercy to his devotees. By dwelling in our hearts, he will destroy all ignorance by shining the lamp of knowledge. Okay? The duh has gone to the next slide. All right. So let's do the darkness in our hearts, when we feel so confused and worried like how Arjuna felt. The moment we will start praying, if you notice, try it out in your life. The moment you say the Mahamantra, when you're finding distress, somebody is saying something horrible, you don't like it in your mind, you chant, immediately the darkness and the confusion disappears and you suddenly feel very bright and you feel protected. Okay, so let's see here Krishna is promising what he will do for us. तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम्
Tesha.
Ignupartham.
अहमज्ञानजं तमः
Abham.
ज्ञानतमः
नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थो
Nashanamyat abhavasto.
So.
ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता
ज्ञानदीपे भवास्वता
Right. By the divine light, Krishna will remove all the darkness from our hearts. Okay. Did you like these 4 chatushloki of the Gita? Okay. So, all right, Risha. Nice. I hope all of you are enjoying reading this most beautiful 4 verses. Ritika has given me a clap as well. Nice. So let's now read an interesting story. Last time we had read about Bakasura, the stork, and we had read about which two we had read last time?
Ma'am, that chapter.
Yeah, we had done chapter 17 last time. Today we are going to learn about Aghasura. Okay, let me stop sharing this and let's quickly read about Aghasura. Would you all like to do a story today? Aghasura story you want to know? Yes?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
in the Life and Deeds of Krishna book, which one? Which number?
Chapter 18. Page number, I don't have the book actually. I'm using a soft book over here. Soft copy.
Okay, ma'am, I got it.
Chapter
41.
18 you can find out. Yeah. All right. So Niranjan, you have a book. You can start reading. Read chapter 18. How Aghasura met his, and this is about Krishna's stories. As we learn the Bhagavad Gita, listening to Krishna's stories helps us to increase our devotion and gives us, more things to understand the more Krishna in more detail. So let's do that. Yeah, Niranjan can start reading.
Okay, ma'am. Agha was also a brother of Putana. As his name meant Agham means sin and Asu means life, he was leading a sinful life. He was already furious at his sister's death when he heard how his brothers Vatsa and Baka were also killed. He made preparations to go to Vrindavan to kill Krishna, Rama, and as many Gopa boys as possible.
Continue reading.
One day, Krishna got ready to take the cows out grazing. He was wearing a yellow silk garment and ornaments of gold and gems, and a peacock feather in his curly hair, tied in a bun on top of his head. He had marks of vermilion and sandalwood paste on his forehead. Carrying a cane, a flute, and his lunch packet, Krishna
Kanhaiya.
Kanhaiya walked inside. Alongside him walked Balarama in resplendent blue silk, bejeweled and with a glowing face. The followers walked behind the leaders, the Gopa boys led by Rama and Krishna, singing and dancing and playing, drove the cows to the new pasture that day. As to about the same pasture taking over grace, they used to do this now and then.
Thank you,
Aghasura had
Yeah, thank you, Niranjan. Now we'll give chance to someone else. So here I want you all to imagine in your mind the beautiful picture of Krishna who is wearing his yellow silk garment and he's having all those gold and gems, peacock feather, and vermilion means, sindoor, the red color vermilion, and sandalwood paste is there. He's carrying his flute. He has a lunch packet. He's walking with Balaram. Balaram always wears a blue resplendent silk and he's also having a glowing face, and all of them are going to a new pasture, new place where they can give the cows and the calves the fresh other grass where it is not already grazed earlier. Okay, so let's move on. Maitri, can you read the next? Okay, here we have a picture. In this picture, you can see how Aghasura is going to be. It's actually a huge python. Yes, Misha?
Can I read?
All right. So after Misha reads, we can have Maithili. Okay. So Misha wants to read first. Then Maithili can also read. So here, can you all see the picture? So many Gopa boys are all there. You can see them entering the mouth of Aghasura, who's actually a python. See, and you can see Krishna is actually enters last. You will see a little bit about two perspectives. I have taken some paragraphs from the Krishna book by Prabhupada, and the rest of the story is from the book Life and Deeds of Krishna by Dr. Gauri Suresh. So here you can see in this picture Aghasura. All right. So Nisha, you can start reading two paragraphs and then Maithili.
Okay, ma'am. Aghasura had reached with Vrindavan and was lying down near a hillock in the form of a gigantic
Gigantic python.
python. He had kept his mouth wide open, which looked like a huge cave. The Gopa was really mistook it for a cave. The little adventure seekers entered into it. Krishna followed them, well knowing who the python was.
So here, one minute. Yeah, Niranjan is showing that he has the books with him. Lord Krishna, nice Niranjan. It's nice to see that you're reading from the book. But here there is another perspective which Prabhupada gives in this paragraph. You can see, which Maithili, you can read the first paragraph, and then Nisha, you can read the first paragraph. Second paragraph, Maithili can read here. Here, actually, there's a different perspective. They say that although these boys are entering thinking it's a cave because it's so huge, there's another perspective where they actually know that it is a serpent, and then they enter because they know that Krishna can save them from anything, right? So this is a slightly different perspective. Let's read this one also. Yeah, Misha, continue reading one more paragraph.
Aghasura, thus deciding to kill all the inhabitants of Vrindavana, expanded himself by the yogic siddhi called Mahima. The demons and generally expect in
Expert.
achieving almost all kind of mystic powers in the yoga system by the perfection called Mahima Siddhi. One can expand himself as a
As he desires.
desires. The demon Aghasura expanded himself up to 8 minds and assumed the shape of the very fat serpent. Having attained this wonderful body, his strength, his mouth opened just like a mountain cave, desiring to swallow all the boys at once, including Krishna and Balrama. He sat on the path.
Yeah, thank you, Misha, and thank you, Niranjan. Maithili, can you read one paragraph?
Yes, ma'am. The demon in the shape of a big fat serpent expanded his lips from land to sky. His lower lip was touching the ground and his upper lip was touching the clouds. His jaws appeared like a big mountain cave without limitation, and his teeth appeared breathing just like a
mountain summits. Okay, his teeth appeared like mountain summits, means tips of the mountain.
His tongue appeared to the
board
To be
traffic.
traffic way. His tongue appeared
He-
like a broad traffic way.
and he was breathing just like a hurricane. His eyes were blazing like fire. At first, the boys thought that the demon was a stew,
That's
but
it.
after examining they saw that it was a big among themselves.
No,
Dear
no, it was a
friend,
big serpent. You left a line, Maithili. They saw that it was a big serpent. Python.
serpent lying down on the road, widening his mouth, the boys began to talk among themselves. Dear friends, the future appears to be a
Bigger.
great animal, and he is sitting in such a position, just sitting in such a position just to swallow us all. Just see, is it not a big snake that has widened his mouth to eat all of us?
Yeah, thank you, Maithili. So, can we have anybody else? Ritika, would you like to read?
Yes, ma'am. One of them said, "Yes, what you say is true. The animal's upper lip appears to be just like the sunshine, and its lower lip is just like the reflection of red sunshine on the ground. Dear friends, just look to the right and left hand side of the mouth of the animal. Its mouth appears to be like a mirror reflecting the sun on the ground."
Hello, Ritika. We can't hear you. Mouth appears to be like a big mountain cave.
As in a mountain cave, the hot wind that is blowing like a hurricane is breathing, and the fishy bad smell coming out from his mouth is the smell of his intestines.
Continue reading some more.
Then they further consulted among themselves. If we all at one time entered into the mouth of this great serpent, how could it possibly swallow us, all of us? And even if it were to swallow all of us at once, it could not swallow Krishna. Krishna will immediately kill him, as he did Baksura.
Bakasura.
Bakasura. Talking in this way, all the boys looked at the beautiful lotus like face of Krishna and they began to clap and smile. And so they marched forward and entered the mouth of the gigantic serpent.
Yeah, thank you, Ritika. So, in this picture, you can see that.
Mom,
Yeah,
I cannot see you, ma'am. Hello.
you can't see me, but can you see the screen, Misha?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, ma'am.
Isha, we can
Hello,
hear
ma'am.
you.
Ma'am, hello.
We can hear you, dear. I think you can rejoin and see.
Ma'am, my camera is also not working.
Okay, it's okay if you can hear us. It's fine if you can hear us and you can see the screen. Can you?
Ma'am, but my screen is not working.
All right. All right. If you can see the screen and you can hear, then it's fine, I think. Or if you want, you can go and rejoin. Okay. Your camera appears to be covered. Okay. So, children, you are able to see this picture in which Krishna is smiling. And here, actually, there's another perspective where children are now having complete faith. They know Krishna can save them from anything because of all their experiences. Okay. So, that is why here we are able to see how they're happily clapping, looking at Krishna, and then they are just entering because they're so sure by now Yeah, now we can see you, Misha. Hello. Yeah. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so they are able to clap and go in with no fear because they know that Krishna can protect them. Okay. Deepa, would you like to read from here? Meanwhile, Krishna. Deepa. Deepa, would you like to read? Otherwise, we can have Anushka hasn't read. Anushka, you could read from Meanwhile, Krishna. Yes, Anushka, read from Meanwhile, Krishna.
Meanwhile, Krishna, who is the super soul within everyone's heart, could understand that the king
Big.
chatuhshloki's figure was a demon. The boys did not know how this, however, and thus, while Krishna was planning how to stop the destruction of his immediate friends, all the boys, along with their slaves, entered the
Ah,
mouth of Spirit. But the Krishna
okay.
did not enter. The demon was awaiting Krishna enter, and he was thinking everyone has entered except Krishna, who was killed by his brother and sister.
Who has killed my
Krishna
brother and sister? Krishna has killed. Putana was his sister, right? So, and he killed his brother and sister. Yeah, continue. Anushka.
Krishna is the Krishna is the assurance of the safety to everyone. But when he saw that his friends were already out of his hands and were lying within the belly of great serpent, he became momentarily aggrieved. Aggrieved, he was also struck with the wonder at how the external energy works so wonderfully. He then began to consider how he would kill the demon and at the same time save the boys and the cows. Although there was no factual concern on Krishna's part, he was thinking like that. Finally, after some deliberation, he also entered the mouth of the demon. Now, more.
Yeah, you can read one more paragraph, Anushka.
When Krishna entered, all the demigods who had gathered to see the fun, who were
Hiding
hiding
within
within
the
the clouds, expressed their feelings with the words, "Alas, alas." At the same time, all the friends of Asuras, especially
Aghasura.
Kamsa, who
Yeah.
Aghasura, especially Kamsa, who were
Accustomed. Accustomed.
accustomed to eating flesh and blood, expressed the jubilation, understanding that Krishna had also entered the mouth of the demon.
So here we can see, yeah, thank you, Anushka. So here we can see how Krishna plays his Leela. Actually he's waiting outside, and all the children they enter with the calves. The baby cows are called the calves. And Krishna is waiting outside, and for a moment he appears to be aggrieved. Oh, they've all entered, and then he's planning what to do. But all this actually for Krishna is not needed. He knows everything, right? And then there's a picture you can imagine that the gods are suddenly a little concerned. Oh God, Krishna is not yet here. Krishna is going to enter, and the demons are all happy because they are used to eating all flesh and blood, so they are very happy. Oh, Krishna is also going to enter now. When Krishna enters, they are happy. So the Asura was waiting for Krishna to enter, and when I'll read this final part. And then he says that he shut his mouth. Aghasura shut his mouth. The devas are anxiously looking and they are praying for the safety. The demons are while the demon was trying to smash Krishna and his companions. And Krishna here heard that the god saying alas, alas. And then Krishna began to grow in size. Krishna became so big. And this is from the Krishna story, the Krishna book, the life and deeds of Krishna. It says he grew so big that he filled not only the mouth but the whole body of Agha. Agha is a short form for Aghasura. Asura's eyes bulged out. He could not breathe. The pressure burst his head and he died. And his soul actually came out of his body in the form of a bright light and it became one with Krishna in the full view of the Devas. The Devas could see that. That's because even at the time of his death, he had in his mind, he was thinking only of Krishna and his form. And so Krishna blesses him that his soul comes out and merges with Krishna's. And Krishna then suddenly he reduces his form again. He becomes like a tiny little boy and he runs out. All the boys are saved just as they knew he would save them. And the gods showered flowers on Krishna and praised the glory of Krishna. They also praised how fortunate was Aghasura. Why? Why did the Devas think Aghasura was lucky? Because when his death was nearing, he had swallowed the Lord and the divinity of the Lord. The Lord Krishna is not just any ordinary boy, he's a God. And he filled his entire inner body at the time of death. There was nothing inside him other than the supreme being, which does not even happen to great devotees. The Gopa children, they did not know what really happened, but they just knew that the giant had swallowed them, and suddenly Krishna had killed the giant and had saved them. So this is how the beautiful story of Aghasura, we are fortunate today to have heard it. Children,